Hello viewers, cherished viewers. Once again, this is the loudest platform, this is the clearest platform, this is the sharpest platform, the people's arena. Today, we shall be delving into the topic, the Energy Sector Levy Amendment as 2025, amended and passed into law. I am here with a co-host,
Dr. Emmanuel Agbo.
Once again, like our platform and share with your family and friends. The Energy Sector Levy Amendment Bill 2025, Act 1135, was taken on Tuesday to Parliament by the dollar fighter, Mr. Honorable Dr. Worsen, and was laid in Parliament, after which the Speaker referred it to the Finance Committee, and the Finance Committee reported to the House, and by evening it was passed and was assented to today by the President of the Republic of Ghana. We shall be looking at the certificate of urgency, why all of a sudden it took a very quick turn. Is it also a kind of e-levy thing that was passed? And today with my co-host, we shall be looking at all this. Follow us and we will be with you. Doc, are the people of Ghana, do you think people of Ghana will be happy or are happy with this bill? Because it was passed at its quickest time ever in this history of Ghana. Do you think it will be okay with Ghanaians?
Okay, David. So definitely people are going to come up with varying opinions on this particular subject, especially when this particular government has criticized the previous government of, if not similar, tax introductions. I personally do not see anything wrong with the energy sector levy that has been introduced. The reason being that the finance minister explained that it is actually measures that are being taken to actually settle some debts that have been incurred by the previous government.
So to add on that, the debt that was incurred as of now, according to the dollar fighter, Atu Worsen is forcing, and that is around 3.1 billion American dollars. And this money is owed to the IPPs, the independent power producer, the state-owned, and the suppliers of fuel. That is to add to that. So,
when you look at the money involved, it's actually a huge sum of money. And it is just the right thing the finance minister has done. In the sense that if he does not take this action, we as citizens are going to be the same people complaining of doomsaw here, doomsaw there. Because when you look at, the doomsaw situation earlier this year, people have been complaining bitterly. But now our lives are stable. So if our lives are stable, it means that measures have been taken. And that is why our lives are stable. So in order to sustain, these measures that have been taken, I think the president may have held a cabinet meeting with, various stakeholders to be able to, take this particular decision. Because for a bill to be enacted or to be brought to Parliament under a certificate of urgency, it tells you that it is actually urgent. And that is why it has been brought to Parliament. I've heard especially commercial drivers complaining. They've been agitating. They have their rights, to agitate and all of that. But we live in a country where even when fuel prices are reduced, commercial drivers in particular, refuse to reduce their transport fares. Look at what happened earlier this year. The city is appreciating. Fuel prices are going down. Yet, the same drivers have refused to do what? Reduce transport fares. Some even go to the extent of fighting with the passengers and all of that. So it has become a tradition where when fuel prices are going high, then they will have to increase fares. But when fuel prices go down, then they will refuse to reduce fares. So when it goes in their favor, they are fine. When it goes against them, it shouldn't be the case. I don't think we can, encourage our people people who take vital decisions by what we are doing to ourselves. Okay? Because if they are trying so hard to give us, if not a comfortable life, but at least to actually stabilize things, and we are also acting in this manner, then there's going to be a problem. It means all challenges that have been there and are being solved by this current government are going to remain as such. So that's what it is.
All right. And Doc, thanks on that. We look at can we examine, or can one equate I don't know why all the levies that brings an uproar to the Ghanaian people all start with E, just like the E levy that happened, and also now another E where we have the Energy Sector Levy.
AKA Dumso.
AKA,
that's how some people have mentioned.
Some people are also saying that the Energy Sector Levy can also be equated to a Dumso levy. We want to find out that it appears like the uproar that came when there was the introduction of the E-levy can also not be compared to the same kind of uproar this time around when the Energy Sector Levy is being introduced. What might be the factors, or what are the factors that are leading to all this? Is it that Ghanaians are satisfied with the Energy Sector Levy, or is it also that they were tired of the former or the past government,
okay.
The previous government? Was it the case? I want to find out from you your opinion on this. Why this time around there's an uproar, but the uproar is not as high as it was in the past? Is it also that the mighty minority in parliament are being weakened by their numbers as the 88? Is that the case? I want to find out from you.
So, David, you see, funny enough, when I was about to mention the Energy Sector Levy, I mistakenly mentioned E-levy in my mind. Okay, because this has remained on the lips of Ghanaians. Last year, the introduction of the E-levy, I think it was introduced last 2 years, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm not too sure about that. But it was introduced under a certain kind of situation. A situation where things were going bad. Okay, price of commodities were going high. They were soaring up. They were just skyrocketing. Okay. So the situation then and now are two different things. Now we have a situation where the cedi is rather appreciating. Then the cedi was depreciating. Now it is appreciating. Then fuel prices were going high. Now fuel prices are reducing. So of course, the Ghanaian populace will definitely not care so much about the new, energy sector levy that has been introduced. Okay. Serious-minded Ghanaians. I'm not a politician. I'm just trying to be fair. Okay. Serious-minded Ghanaians, when they weigh these two, will realize that this is actually needed. Okay. It is actually what we want now. Because if we don't introduce any measures, around the day, our lights are going to go off. Businesses will collapse. And we don't want that. Okay, so I think weighing, these two taxes that have been introduced, this has been the reason why the Ghanaian populace have not really complained that much, except commercial drivers. Yeah.
All right. We'd like to also know your comments. So leave us a comment and we'll be grateful for that.
Like and share.
Like and
tell
share.
a friend to tell another friend.
Okay, we're moving forward. One known forest trader shared his opinion that I would like to read to us. The account on Twitter, that's formerly Twitter, now X, Kojo Forest. He made some analogy that we'd like to bring to the attention. Fuel, and I quote and read, fuel used to cost 16 or 17 cedi per liter 5 months ago. Now fuel, they cost 11 cedis per liter. And new tax of 1 cedis to be paid per liter. The simple meaning is new price is equal to current cost of fuel per liter plus new tax levy. Doing the mathematics is 11 cedis plus 1 cedi is giving us 12 cedi. Mm-hmm. According to some Ghanaians, some people, 17 cedis liter is better than 12 cedi per liter. So in that analogy, you think that the current administration, which is led by the president and his finance minister, the dollar fighter, Honorable Atuforsen, do you think that they are saving this at least about 5 cedis for this country?
So I think this is a very perfect analysis by Kojo Forex. Okay, if everybody will see this from his perspective, I think it's going to help. Okay, because government has actually saved us more money than we had previously. Okay, so I think we all have to buy into his analogy. So basically, that's what it is. That's my thoughts on this particular issue.
Okay, so we move forward. Okay, looking at it as we journey or move forward in this case, it is also the concern of many citizens that this government not take cue from the past government in introducing taxes. It appears Ghanaians are now, day in, day out, they are trying, or it is becoming difficult for them whenever there's an introduction of levies to the Ghanaian population. What is your view? Is it that going forward, government or any government that comes in power would have to look elsewhere to be able to generate income, or looking at more like production to get more money for the country than imposing taxes on its people? Like going forward, is it that successive governments would have to look at it, because it appears Ghanaians are always or are becoming not okay with taxes, because whenever there's an introduction of a levy, it appears there's an uproar all the time. So we want to find out from you, moving forward, do you think successive governments should look at ways to raise revenue than imposing taxes on its members?
You see, David, in Ghana here, anything government does is always being criticized. Okay? Any serious country or any developed country is being developed by taxes. The difference here is that in our part of the world, taxes are being introduced, but we don't see the significance, or if you like, the relevance of these taxes. Okay? If I'm paying tax and I go out and my roads are okay. Okay? For instance, look at the issue of Ashaiman roads and then Tema roads. Okay? Ashaiman indigents are Ghanaians, Tema indigents are Ghanaians. But on the day, what do we see? The roads are bad in Ashaiman compared to Tema. You get what I'm saying? But if I'm actually, experiencing, or if I'm seeing value for taxes that I'm paying for, okay, then I will be happy to pay those taxes. In the case of the e-levy, we already had toll booths where drivers were paying toll, only for the transport minister to now introduce, to now scrap off those tolls we were paying,
which was raising revenue for the country.
Exactly. Okay. And when you weigh these two options, you realize that e-levy is being paid by most Ghanaians, majority of Ghanaians, because most people use mobile money. Unlike
that was then, I think it was repealed. The e-levy has been repealed.
Yes, yeah, that was then. Yeah, I'm talking about then.
Yeah,
okay, I'm just trying to compare those two scenarios. And then the issue of toll booths. People, it's not everybody that drives. Okay, I can say that it's only 30% to 40% of Ghanaians that drive. It may even not be up to that number. So if 40% or 30% are paying for toll, are paying toll for the roads that they are using, because they are applying those roads. Okay, then it will make sense. But if you're actually imposing a tax on me, okay, for no apparent reason, just because you say you claim you want to, increase revenue.
In this case,
then,
you want to increase revenue to be able to pay the debt that was accrued by
the previous government.
So it is the levy is to be able to raise that money so that we are able to pay the debt. Then we can solve the dumso, whether it's dumso,
whether it's DCC or whatever,
to make sure that we are able to solve that issue. So we can keep the lights on, so that at least the 24-hour economy and co can be running.
So I think Honorable Atuforsen has been clear with the reasons why this tax has been introduced. For me, it makes sense to me. To somebody else, it wouldn't make sense. I think government communicators have to take up that responsibility to actually educate the public as to why these taxes have been introduced. Because that was what the previous government did not do too well. Okay, because when government communicators go on, radio stations to TV stations and all of that, the previous government, they were not able to convince Ghanaians that much. Okay, all what they were saying were not convincing enough. That is what brought about that uproar amongst Ghanaians. Okay, in this case, Honorable Atuforsen has made it clear